happening though? I just wanted to talk to y'all today about addiction, because I feel like it ain't talked about enough. You know what I'm saying? It's a real serious problem out here. It's an epidemic, pandemic, you know what I mean? Yeah, some nice little midnight blue Porsche right there. I love midnight blue. You know what I mean? That's especially on a Porsche. Especially. You did the right thing, man. I think it did. For sure. But anyway, addiction. You know what I mean? I'm an addict. You know what I'm saying? I used to do my thing too. Lean, pills, sands, weed, drinking, gambling. Because everything started that way. I was young, you know what I mean? When I got into the streets, jumped off the porch, I was like 11 years old, bro. Robbing cars. I mean, I wasn't stealing the car yet, but I was robbing the car. I was getting in there taking whatever you had. I mean, 'cause I used to find paychecks and everything in there. You know what I mean? Guns, all kinds of shit. Then I started running in houses, you know what I'm saying? So I was a burglar first. Then I went from burglaries to trapping. Trapping to pimping. From pimping to robberies and all kinds of shit. It just kept elevating to the point where now I'm trying to do each and every one of them all at the same time now. Burglary, like I had a whole ring of shit going on, bro. You ain't know what I was gonna be doing tonight, man. I ain't know. It was whatever I felt like doing, you know what I'm saying? But at the root of it all was my addiction. Because once I started trapping and getting to the world of drugs, you know what I'm saying? In the world of females, you know, I started doing all kinds of drugs, ecstasy, everything. And when it comes to addiction, right, you know, while I was trapping, I used to actually talk to the people that came to buy drugs on me, you know what I mean? Because I sold weed first, then I started selling heroin. I went straight to heroin, bro. And, you know, that was some of the best money that I've ever made in my life. That heroin money, man. I wouldn't even say the whole money was better than that heroin. The heroin, I was wealthy, you heard. But I now had nothing to show for it. But not from that anyway, you know what I'm saying? But and so while I spoke to these people, I used to ask them, how did they get here? What made them start doing drugs? Sometimes the males would say a woman came to me, and you know they would tell me some story about how the woman introduced him into coke or ice. You know what I'm saying? And man, I'm like, damn. But for the most part, 9 times out of 10, the person came into a catastrophe. Saying it was catastrophic, and it was a car accident, a bike accident, a sports accident. Somehow they ended up hurt. Then they ended up at the hospital, and then they ended up going to pain management doctors, and end up getting perks or oxys or roxys. You know what I mean? Getting bronchitis, getting a bottle of lean. You know what I mean? That's how I started drinking lean. It was by accident. My aunt had a bottle of lean in the cabinet with everything else. And I asked her, where was the cough medicine? She said, oh yeah, it's in there where the towels is. You know what I mean? You open the door where the towels is up top, all the medicine right there. Go ahead. I go in there, grab the wrong bottle. And I took a pop, sitting there. Playing 2K, I'll never forget it. I'm playing 2K. I want to say it was on Dreamcast. I was playing 2K on Dreamcast. And, you know, I'm probably about 12, 11. And I'm like, ooh. I'm like, ooh, shit. And I started having this itch that was so satisfying to scratch. And I'm like, oh God. And I don't like that, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know what was happening, but I liked it, you know what I'm saying? And it just went from there, bro. And I didn't realize I was getting high. I didn't know it. I ain't know it. I didn't know I liked how I felt when I took that. You know what I'm saying? And word. Promethazine with the codeine. You know? And then, me being in the lifestyle, and my uncle, one of my family members, was in the lifestyle. And I went to Houston with him one time and found out that this is a real thing. Promethazine with codeine. It's a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? That's when I found out about the candy, the Jolly Ranchers, and Sprite, and cream soda, and all kinds. I was like, oh my God, like for real? Oh, I went home and tore that bottle up. Oh, I went crazy. You know what I mean? I went crazy. So, not everybody's story is the same, but a lot of the time somebody got hurt, and the doctors don't tell you that you headed down a long, dark road. They don't tell you that, one day, once they take you off, because one day they're just going to take you off. They're not going to give you a plan to wean off or to get on some methadone or nothing like that. They're not going to give you a plan. They're just going to cut you off because they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They know what it is. They're just creating addicts out here. But I'm going to tell you now that you headed down a long, dark road, man. You know what I mean? That tunnel, and a lot of people don't make it to see the end of that tunnel. They don't make it to the end of that tunnel to realize that there was light at the end of that tunnel. But you're headed down a long, dark road. And, but I just want you to, my message today is just to keep walking. Keep walking. Because there is light at the end of the tunnel. And every now and then, you might come to an area where you thought you was, you had found the light. Until you look up and realize it's just a manhole. You gotta keep walking. You ain't out of the dark yet, But just keep walking. Because there is light at the end of that tunnel. And I just, for the life of me, couldn't understand, because it happened to me too. And I was already in my addiction. When I had came across, you're going to be sick. This is what's going to happen to you. This is exactly how this is going to go. When they give you them pills, they're going to cut you off, right? Now, if it's not that day or the next day, or whenever you finish your bottle of prescription pills, whenever you finish, you're just gonna be sitting there. You're gonna be watching cartoons and eating cereal. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be in the crib, big and back, being boom. You heard? And then you're gonna start getting, feeling a little weird, right? You're like, your head gonna start feeling like you got air in it. You know what I'm saying? And then, your stomach gonna start feeling like it's turned, like it got knots, and your stomach starting to ball up and crunch up, and it's gonna start feeling like it's flipping. You'll be like, God damn, you don't think you got shit. But you're about to shit. You know what I mean? You're about to shit a lot, nigga. You'll be sitting there like, oh my God. You know what I mean? And then you're gonna start getting hot. You're gonna start getting a little, little perspiration, you know what I'm saying? Then you're gonna get chills, you're gonna get goosebumps, but you're still sweating at the same time, and you don't know what's wrong. You're gonna start thinking you got the flu. You're gonna start thinking you're sick, but you all sick, but you ain't sick. You're dope sick, man. Nah. It's gonna eventually start developing worse and worse, and then it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt so bad. You're gonna start twitching. You know what I mean? You're gonna try to go to sleep. This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna try to sleep. You're gonna smell food. Everything gonna stink. You can't even fathom the thought of eating whatever they cooking up there. You're gonna try to go to sleep. And you may go to sleep. You may go to sleep. But your nighttime is gonna be the worst. You're gonna be laying there and you're gonna start sweating to the point that you're gonna be sweating and cold all at the same time. You'll be sweating with goosebumps. Super bad though. It's gonna be horrible. It's gonna be terrible. It's gonna be terrible. You have no idea how bad this is about to be. And so yeah, you're gonna go to the toilet. Eventually you're gonna be like, oh, I gotta shit right now. Like right now. Like if anybody's in that bathroom, you're shitting on yourself. You might go in there and push them off the toilet, like move over, nigga, and pull your pants down. And just you might not even make it to sit your ass on the seat. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be the worst diarrhea that you ever had, and it's never going to stop. It's never going to stop until you get some type of medical attention. But you're going to shit, and you're going to start shitting out stomach bile and everything, bro. You're going to be shitting out stomach acids. That's how bad it's going to be. It's going to stop being brown. It's going to start being yellow, bubbly acid. This is what it's going to be coming out your ass. You're going to go to the hospital. You're not going to know what's wrong with you. You're going to go to the hospital. Well, you might know what's wrong with you. You know, you might know. But you might not. All the years that I sold drugs, I didn't know anything about being dope sick. I didn't know nothing about it. Never even heard of it before. And before I went through it, I was selling heroin for about maybe 6 years. Never heard of dope sick. Maybe I did and didn't remember, but yeah, didn't know nothing about being dope sick. Hey, so you're gonna go to the hospital. They're gonna do all kinds of shit, and then nothing's gonna work. Nothing is gonna work. So they're gonna make your shit, some of this liquid that you're shitting out, into a pan, and then they're gonna go do their test on it while you're sitting there, constantly shitting in the pan, sweating, looking crazy. Then they're gonna come in there and give you the Dilaudid. They're not gonna tell you what it is, and they're just gonna be like, we're gonna try this here. Boom. And then you're not gonna realize it, but you're starting to feel better. And then once you stop, you know, being sick, you're gonna be just in there chilling. You're gonna start feeling good, actually. You're gonna be like, hold on a second. Yeah. Oh, all right. Yeah. Whatever that is, I need that, speed that. They're gonna come in there and ask you, did that work? You're like, yeah. For sure. It worked. What was that though? You know what I'm saying? And they gonna tell you it's the law, then you're gonna ask for a script. They're gonna be like, no, we can't write your script for this. No. You don't got the, you don't get nothing like this no more. You're a fiend now. You don't get none of this shit no more. Nah. Your days of getting perks and all that's over with. They'll never give it to you again. It's over with. Because now you're on the books as a fiend. You know what I mean? They're gonna stamp heroin addict. It's over with. Nah. You're gonna hit the streets now. Now you need the perks. Because this shit here, nah. I can't wait a week to start feeling normal again. You know what I mean? You had a taste. It's over with now. You are now an addict. And now you're gonna start hitting the streets. And you're gonna go from buying pills, and you're gonna realize this is very, very, very expensive. I can't afford this. And then you're gonna come across somebody that do sell heroin. Or do sell, well, now it's fentanyl. Ain't no heroin anymore. That shit don't even exist anymore. It's fentanyl. You gonna come across a nigga that got fentanyl. And it's a whole lot cheaper. But you get the same effect. You know what I'm saying? So now that it's cheaper, you get more that lasts a little longer. But then that stops being enough. And then you start doing more and more of that until it's expensive again. And you ain't gonna be able to afford that neither. So now you're gonna be out here selling eggs and getting on your knees and robbing your mom and your family, and then your family ain't gonna want you around no more, and then your girl gonna leave you, man. And then you spend every red cent that you have that you can't even eat tonight. You can't eat. You got your dope, but you can't eat. You know what I'm saying? So then, you know, you're about to lose your place. You're gonna lose your car. You're gonna lose your job. You probably already lost your job. You know what I mean? That's been over with. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't do nothing without having your fix. And if you don't have the fix before you go to work, you calling out. Because you already know, I can't be at work sick. I can't do that. I'm gonna get sent home early, or I'm gonna just leave and walk out. Something gonna happen though. Something gotta happen. I need mine. I need to get me meat, man. You heard? Alright. So yeah, that's how it's gonna go. If you been lost your job, you know what I'm saying? In your car, you try to stuff it in the garage so that they don't come repo it, and you know. But you ain't got no garage to stick it in no more. So you might wake up one night on the back of a tow truck, nigga. You know what I mean? It took you too. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So now you lost everything, nigga. You ain't got your birth certificate no more. You ain't got your social security card no more. You ain't got your ID no more. You know what I mean? You might have food stamps, but you sold those because you gotta get you. I needs me. So you probably sold your food stamps. You know what I mean? So you ain't got nothing to eat. You know what I mean? Then you're going to start running in other circles of addicts. And then that's when you start going to jail. You know what I mean? Because y'all going to start boosting and all kinds of shit, man. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse until you hit rock bottom and you're in prison and you on your knees begging God to please help me. Please. But you don't realize, man, you done wasted so much time. You don't see your kids no more. Your kids don't love you no more. Your family they love you, but they can't fuck with you. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? You can't wash your hands. You stink. You a thief. And you's a goddamn dope fiend. And you don't want to go through being sick. So, you know, getting help is out of the question. That means you gotta go through being sick. You gotta go through a rough patch of laying in the bed, shaking and twitching and sweating and shit. You know what I mean? So when you're trying to go to sleep without the drugs in your system, you gonna keep going like that. Every time you're about to go to sleep, you're gonna shake like that. That's called restless leg syndrome. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have restless leg syndrome like a motherfucker, man. And it's gonna be something on the inside of your body that you can't stretch and satisfy. You can't scratch it and satisfy it. It's like a stretch itch that you can't get. You know what I'm saying? It's doing this. It's both at the same time. You know what I mean? It's in the inside of your body. It's not scratchable. It's not stretchable. You know what I'm saying? You can't. It ain't nothing you can be able to do about it, bro. You're gonna be up for like 3 days, bro. You know what I mean? Till your body just shut down on you, bro. Eventually you get some sleep, but then the next day is gonna be the same thing, though. After that sleep, bro. It's gonna be about 2 weeks before you actually start getting some type of sleep, bro. No bullshit, I'm telling you. It's like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? But, you know, women are a lot worse off than men, man. Because women's getting into prostitution. And they start sleeping with weirdos and old guys and dudes from other countries. And, you know what I mean? It's a lot of old, fat, sloppy, sweaty dudes breathing all over you. You know what I'm saying? Like dudes you would have never even looked at in your life. You allowing to have your body right now for a couple of dollars. You know what I mean? When you an addict, you ain't making $200-$300 days. Nah. You gonna be getting about $2-$3 out there in Patterson. $5 for some. You could do whatever you want to her for $5. $5. Go on Van Houten Street. $5. Do whatever you want. All three holes. All right, whatever you want to do with her. $5, man. You know what I mean? Word up. Right there on Van Houten. Yup. Go down there by Rosa, East 18th, that little area right there. Yup. All crackhead women. I mean, and they love it. They love that lifestyle. They don't want. They would do nothing. They're not going to do anything to change it. I mean, because they got a bunch of dudes that's actually willing to move them into the house with them, so that they can have in-house cooch, stank cooch. You know what I mean? She don't wash that. I mean, she been doing whatever with anybody. They ain't using protection. You know what I mean? If a dude is really actually willing to pay extra to not use protection, you know what I'm saying? A woman can wake up broke and go to sleep paid and well laid. You know what I mean? Niggas putting things as long as her arm up in her. You know what I mean? So her womb is contaminated and destructive. Is mass destruction that went off in that motherfucker. You know what I mean? You won't even feel nothing when you get up inside of her, man. She don't know it. Actually, she might. So I remember I had clap. You know, I ain't gonna say who. But she kept squeezing her legs all hard on me. And I couldn't understand why she was doing it. And I think she was trying to, like, make her coochie tighter. So she thought that she was able to do it. And she was trying to do it so hard that she was squeezing her legs. And I'm like, yo, I don't even want to do nothing with you. Like, I can't feel nothing. And you keep squeezing me with your legs. And, you know what I mean? So I just act like I can. And I got up and left. You know what I mean? I got up and dropped her off. You know what I mean? I ain't call her again ever since. You know what I'm saying? And she hit me up like 3 months later. Like, yo, you ain't hit me in 3 months. Like, what's going on? What happened? You know what I mean? And she kept saying, something you want to tell me? You can tell me anything. You know what I mean? You're always blunt with me. You always told me exactly how you felt or exactly what you think and feel. You know what I mean? Exactly how it is. Like, she just wanted me to tell her that her shit was whack, bro. You're whack. It's over with for you. You're gonna be a cat lady. You're never gonna have anyone. It's over with. She knows this already, but she just wanted to hear it, I guess. And I ain't tell her, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause I ain't want to be disrespectful. But, you know, it is what it is. But I'm telling you, women end up with a lot worse. A lot worse. That's because they get into the sex game. And that sex game is different. It's a lot of wear and tear on your body, baby. A whole lot of wear and tear on your body. And you're going to be dealing with a lot of dudes that's just stank. Like, I've had women come up and talk to me and I can smell the cock in their breath. Like, literally. Like, what did you just do? You trifling nasty motherfucker. You just sucked a stank dick. Like, that's how, it's real life. I can tell you stories for days. Crazy shit, man. But you like crazy shit, man. You wouldn't believe me if I would told you. But I just want you to know that there's light at the end of that tunnel. There's light at the end of that tunnel. Just keep walking. Just keep walking. And every now and then, you might come across that manhole that's shining down light, but you look up and realize you're still in the dark. And you gotta keep walking. But just keep walking. Just keep walking. Captain.